Hi, welcome back, Croeso. We had some extremely disturbing news, as if it could not get any worse, where these power stations that they're going to put on our hills and absolutely ruin South Wales. And people realise just how bad it's going to be. They call them wind farms, they're power stations, let's call them what they are. They need electricity cables, they need substations, they're going to be linked up to the grid. Worst of all, they need access roads, which are 8 metres wide, to get the cranes up to erect them. The stuff comes from halfway around the world. They're an absolute abomination. They never got nothing to do with saving the planet or pollution. Make you feel good. They don't work. They don't do that. And if it couldn't get any worse, look at this. One has now crashed to the ground. The Welsh Windfarm. Power station, they mean when they say that. Now, the first thing that jumps out at you is the first two words. Huge, 300 feet. 300 feet is about 90 metres, all right? 90 odd metres. This is small. I know it sounds incredible. The new one's going up all over the hills, wherever you are, they're going to be coming near you. They're going to be 200 metres plus. The ones they were planning near my stag were going to be 270 metres. Tallest anywhere. 270 metres. That's more or less 3 rugby or football pitches end to end in a row. So you imagine standing on the try line of one rugby pitch, or the goal line of a soccer pitch, and you've got to run to the end of that pitch, and another pitch, and another pitch. That gives you some idea how massive, how they're going to dominate the landscape, okay? The ones we're talking about here, these are babies. Anyways, let's read a bit more about it. This is near Gilfach Gorch, so it's a historical area. All our hilltops, all these old hill forts and standing stones and messages. We're trying to work out star alignments. All that, all going to go, all right? That's all just finished. Where we go with this? Yeah, the blades are completely destroyed. Just so you know, the blades can't be recycled anyway. I've gone about previous videos that the millions of tons of concrete. The concrete bases, you don't really see them because they turf over. But the biggest one is actually for the cranes, because the cranes have to lift these huge things into place and put the pieces together. And they're so the total footprint for each turbine is about 45 metres by 70 metres, about 2/3 of a football pitch per turbine. This particular farm, I think, is 29. So we had it. Yeah, look at this. Oh, unfortunately, yeah, it is bloody unfortunate, isn't it? An incident occurred. Only material damage was to the tower, which is, yeah, well and truly wrecked. So this one, all that, limestone, the lime mining in India, then had to put into the lime kiln, and all that pollution, all the suffering to the local people from mining away at these limestone quarries, and then the smelting that goes on, all the energy used for that, and then shipping that cement halfway around the world to make the concrete, and then dragging all these things up the hill. All that was for nothing. So, are they going to get a big climate bill for this? If we're going to go along with the story about saving the planet, they just done enormous, dreadful damage. And look how hard they hit. These are solid steel, okay? The blades can't be recycled because they've got carbon fibre in them. I do notice, just looking at this here, that looks very rusted, doesn't it? There's another thing you don't realise. Because at the end of the term, they only last 20 years, by the way, and because of the rocking motion, the concrete can't even be reused. So you can't just take it away and put a new one on top. No, that's it. 20 years, you're done. The hill's ruined forever. You might get 20 years if you're lucky, or in this case, 8 or 9 years. And then they're sneaky buggers. They tend to re-register the companies until they end up with the whole thing is offshore. So all those pledges they signed to clear up the site at the end of the 20 years don't exist anymore, and you can't pursue them. So where's it going to happen next? You're left with your hill ruined, massive 200-metre rusting columns that no one can afford to take away. Hey, what if a housing developer comes along and says, well, I'll get rid of them for you, and then all the hills become housing estates? That could be the long-term plan, right? It's absolutely shocking. They talk about another storm coming Thursday, Friday. Hey, maybe some more will fall down. Imagine when this is the babies. These are the 90-metre towers. This are 200-metre towers. I actually think the ones up there are 75, and they're exaggerating with 300 feet. And the new ones are going to be at least 3 times bigger. Anyways, And then they just change the story. There's no discussion about whether these things should be stopped or they're a bad idea. Isn't it dreadful? They talk about the wind then. It might be windy this weekend. It's bizarre. More interesting is actually the comments. I think people are coming round. Metal fatigue, bad design, bad installations. Are they all going to be checked, or do others have to fail? That's just gone up in the last couple of minutes. We have thousands of years of coal underground. The Welsh coal is anthracite. It burns very clean. There's hardly any pollution from it. We got that there. Let's burn that for another 20 years, and then maybe we'll have some new technology, which would be great by then, isn't it? Coal doesn't stop when wind doesn't blow, or it blows too hard, or it's the wrong sort of snow or rain or heat or cold. Good comment, Whiskey Jack. Will's gone mad. Talk about emissions. There we are. A disaster that's up there with Chernobyl and Fukushima. It will be. People have no idea. You've got to wake up. In the description, there's loads of email addresses. Please also contact local MPs, AMs or whatever they're called, and the developers, and just show that we're not up to this. Let's stick to gas. We got the North Sea gas, incredibly clean, just coming out of the ground, almost free. They spent fortunes. Nearly all the country has got gas piped directly to their homes. It burns clean and hot, and it's wonderful and it's convenient. And we're importing gas from Russia. It's just like who we're trying to pick a fight with. What is this madness? We have to stand up, all right? We've got to say something. Please, please, please. Because when those hills are covered in these super giant 270-metre power stations, you're not saving the planet. Don't feel good about it. It's just pointless virtue signaling, and it's a scam. Millions and millions and millions of pounds go from our pockets into the pockets of foreign companies, and people already have way too much money in their pockets. Now, our rant over. Till next time, back to history. Okay, Heddwch.